it's Pepper. I hope this time finds you well and healthy and looking at the world with at least a little bit of an eye towards things getting better, more normalized, with an eye towards spring or fall, depending upon where you are, and with the possibility of being with each other physically in touching each other and acknowledging each other more than through just a screen, and maybe recognizing how vital and important that is to us, that it's one of the things that really make us human and really in some ways inseparable from each other. And when that's taken from us in some way, how much we really want it. So looking forward, it's good to be with you again, to share some time with you again. And when I was with you not long ago, maybe in one of our latest videos, we talked about doing the right thing because it would be asked of us this year, because we might feel a challenge to do that or a call to do that, an imperative that comes from within. And I remember saying that it was just the kind of year to do that, because it's a year that is acute in some way. It is a year of many mirrors, mirrors that are clear, distorted mirrors, mirrors that seem to point or face only one direction, so fingers pointing in a certain direction, usually away from us, and a lot of opportunities for things to not go well, or not go at least in the way that we thought they were going to go. And so when everything starts to look that way, it's easier to just kind of look at our integrity and at least know that that's one of the things that we can hold up. We can hold up our side. We can hold up our words. We can hold up our actions or deeds and just do the right thing. The right thing is not always the best thing or the grandest thing or the thing that's best for everybody. It's just the next right thing to do. Almost like when you're going down the street and you're in a certain lane and you turn right because that's the lane you're in. That's the right thing to do in that moment, just for that time. And so we follow these rules in some ways that we make for ourselves because they make sense to do that. But I also said that because I know that it's a year that will challenge that in some ways. It will challenge that out in the world, in the things that we see, that we pay attention to, in the news that we read, and the relationships that we engage in, because we're in this micro era. I'm going to call it that. Just like there's microclimates, right now we're in this micro era. It's not this, it's not that. It's not typical of this kind of year. It's not typical of that kind of time, just like our weather or the systems that we're partaking in now. It's just not normal or usual in a certain way. It's just the way it is right now. So it's a microclimate or a micro era where we're in right now, and unexpected things happen while the fallout and while new things are being created. So when all of that's going on, one of the easiest things to do is just to take care of ourselves, take care of our health, take care of our well-being. And again, do the right thing, hold up your integrity, and see how that goes. That being said, I have been so surprised over these last couple of months to have received so much mail and so many comments about that. What does it mean to do the right thing? What does it mean if you don't do the right thing? What will happen if I don't? Will there be an opportunity to make it better later? Or it's March and I've already done the wrong thing. How do I fix it? So surprisingly, we're going to talk about that again. And so doing the right thing is just that. Like I said, it's not always the best thing or the incredible thing. It's not the hero thing to do. It's just the next thing to do. And it has a way of upholding itself. If it's a truthful thing, an honest thing, those things just have a little bit more balance to them. So the right thing is just a balanced decision to make. It's the next thing, not necessarily something that requires a lot of thought, not a whole lot of morality or ethics and things, although we will be talking about that soon as well, because these things are coming up. So another name for this time period, this micro era, is a time of deep adaptation, deep adapting to things that we don't know, things that are may have been exclusive to other times or places, things that were not practiced in, a new language, new ways to communicate, to interact with each other. So it's a time of really adapting to things that we didn't think or know we were going to have to adapt to. And because of that, we don't always do the right thing. Maybe we did the right thing for how things used to be. Maybe we did the right thing for who we used to be as we are continually changing or evolving. And now we're noticing that that may not be right for us any longer. And we want to make some changes. In terms of thinking about not having done the right thing and it being only March, that's really the answer to that. It's only March. And so be gentle with yourself during this time. And as much as I can say, do the right thing, I don't always do the right thing. I don't always know what the right thing is, or maybe I do afterwards, right? In hindsight, as we say. So we're all just doing the very best we can. And the world and the different traditions that we study, there are always remedies for fixing things, for making better, for making corrections to things. And the remedies are things like resilience, recognizing that it wasn't the opportunity we were going to have. There's another opportunity to do the next thing or the right thing, and we can be resilient and give it another try. Look for the next opportunity. Sometimes there's an ecologist that I know, Joanna Macy, wonderful teacher, and she talks about what are our deep values and behaviors, and based upon those, the right thing comes up. How do we treat nature that way? Because we tend to treat sometimes nature better than we treat ourselves. Sometimes we're ignorant of nature and we don't do that. But in terms of resilience, what are the values and behaviors that we want to keep? We want to be resilient about those. What are the values and behaviors that we want to relinquish? We're willing to let those go. What are the ones that we would like to restore, reinstate? Values and behaviors that we would like to reinstate, concentrate on, keep those at the surface of our reminders. And then there's this place of reconciliation. Where is the meeting place inside of us? That place that knows right and has the next opportunity to do that. So resilience then also meets reconciliation. And regardless of what traditions you follow, whether it's Buddhism or Advaita or any formal religion that you follow, there are always within these traditions remedies for finding that place of resilience or our next starting point, a next beginning place. In meditation, there's relax and release, lots of releasing to do. And then there's rejoining. I don't know why so many of these start with R, but there seems to. So rejoining some of the things that we know are important. But one of the things that we don't need, to fall to is a place that is so filled with remorse. A remorse that circles and circles around itself, around a wound, and can't free itself from it. That's not resilience. It's like a scar. And it's like being kind of stuck in the scar tissue that still hurts. and doesn't allow itself to find to the next place. And we here in the Western part of the world are very familiar with that. It's steeped into some of our older traditions. And so, what I would advise against that, if at all possible, I would advise against feeling that kind of remorse that that leads to only more guilt. And from guilt, then we get to shame, and from shame, we get to something else. And it's a pit. It's really hard to get out of. And so when I started out the year by saying do the right thing, I meant for it to stay light and for us to hold it in a simple awareness, not holding it like an egg or something that is so fragile that if we take one misstep, it's broken and broken forever. We are not broken. We're not broken as a human race. We're not broken as individuals. Some of the systems that we live with are in pretty bad shape, and we need to fix some, take some down, create new ones. And so a different kind of creativity is coming, one that we haven't spoken of very much yet, but we will. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a future video. A moral creativity, a way to create things that then become creative in themselves, that then lead to more creativity that benefit more beings. So we'll talk about that as well. But for now, just to say, this is a time of being gentle with ourselves and with others. Easy to point fingers. Whenever we do that, we should probably be looking in a mirror as well, just to be fair. And it's a time to help each other through these times, help each other through older beliefs, uh, letting go of judgments, looking at things creatively or artfully, counting our blessings or being in gratitude, depending, celebrating life for the sake of life itself, looking to teachers that have been of benefit to us, and in all of the ways that we create structure in our life, whether it's through exercise or well-being or friendship or grace or prayer, meditation, all of these different things. It's really important that we work now towards the upliftment of ourselves, of the human spirit. Because there's plenty of reasons not to, plenty of opportunities to look in directions that don't look like that. So let's look towards things that are helpful and beneficial for each other and that lead towards happiness and well-being and grace. So with grace, I will take my leave from you, but join you again soon. Thanks for sharing this time with me. I do apologize for some of my absence as I had my quiet period in the beginning part of the year. And I'll be talking some more about some upcoming events or ways that we can spend more time together. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.